Sonnet 58 by William Shakespeare, 1565 to 1616. That God forbid that made me first your slave, I should in thought control your times of pleasure, or at your hand the account of hours to crave, being your vassal, bound to stay your leisure. O let me suffer, being at your beck, the imprisoned absence of your liberty, and patience, tame to sufferance, bide each check, without accusing you of injury. Beware you list, your charter is so strong, that you yourself may privilege your time. Do what you will, to you it doth belong, yourself to pardon of self-doing crime. I am to wait, though waiting so be hell, not blame your pleasure, be it ill or well. Okay, this is very similar to the previous Sonnet 57. It's by William Shakespeare. It's a sonnet to the fair youth who Shakespeare is in love with. And the fair youth has gone off, and I think the fair youth is being unfaithful to Shakespeare. I think the fair youth is sleeping around, and Shakespeare's lamenting the fact that he's fallen in love with this young man, and he's lamenting his own lack of power and the fact that the fair youth is completely indifferent to Shakespeare, or Shakespeare feels that he is indifferent, and this is Shakespeare's lament about this. That God forbid that made me first your slave, I should in thought control your times of pleasure. So God forbid that I have become your slave, but I have become your slave, and I wouldn't wish this on anybody. God forbid that I first became your slave, because I am your love slave. I am in love with you, and therefore I am your slave. I should in thought control your times of pleasure. So I'm as your slave, I'm not. I don't have the right to control what you do, to control how you make yourself happy, and I can't order that you make yourself happy with me. But and yes, you have the right to be happy with anyone you wish. You have the right to control you, to be the master of your own happiness, and that doesn't mean you have to be with me. I am your slave, and this is something I have to accept. Or at your hand the account of hours to crave. So I can't crave, I can't demand to know how you spend your time. I can't demand an account of your hours, of what you do. Being your vassal, bound to stay your leisure, I am your servant, and therefore I am duty bound. It's my obligation to wait for when you are ready, to wait for anything you ask of me. I have no right to direct you. I am just the servant who does what you ask. Oh, let me suffer, being at your beck, the imprisoned absence of your liberty. So I have to suffer the absence of your freedom. I don't have the same freedom as you. You are free to come and go as you wish. And I am imprisoned. I am your slave. So let me suffer being at your beck and call. Let me suffer being the servant who will do anything you asked. And this is the imprisoned absence of your liberty. So I don't have the liberty that you have. I am imprisoned as your servant. But you have liberty. You have freedom to do anything you want. And here Shakespeare again is suggesting that I, Shakespeare, am in love with you, but you, fair youth, it clearly you're not in love with me. If you didn't exercise that liberty, then you would want to be with me. And that's what Shakespeare wants. Shakespeare wants the fair youth to be with him, but he can't make that happen. And sadly, Shakespeare is like his slave. He's duty bound to wait for the fair youth to click his finger and say, "Shakespeare, come here, come here." Yeah. And patience, tame to sufferance, bide each check without accusing you of injury. And I need to be patient. I need to be patient, and each time you do something wrong to me, each time you hurt me, I need to just suffer without accusing you of hurting me, because you can decide what you want to do, and therefore if what you want to do hurts me, that's not your fault, that's my fault, because I am your slave. That's my position, and I mustn't accuse you of injuring me. But where you list, your charter is so strong. So, but where you are, where you list, you're free to do anything you want, that you yourself may privilege your time. So you can decide what to do with your time. You don't have to be with me, but my heart tells me I want to be with you. So you're free to do anything you want. Do what you will. Yeah. So do what you're going to do. Do what you want to do with your time. Yeah. To you it doth belong. This time is your time. I can't force you to be my slave. I am your slave because my love is so strong. But clearly Shakespeare is saying that unfortunately you don't love me. This is the sadness of unrequited love, where Shakespeare is his slave because Shakespeare loves him, but the youth is free to do anything he wants, and the youth clearly doesn't want to be with Shakespeare. So there's certainly a lot of bitterness here as well, that Shakespeare's really sad to be in this situation. He's effectively in love with somebody who doesn't love him. To you it doth belong, yourself to pardon of self-doing crime. So you need to decide whether to pardon yourself for any crimes you may have committed or not. And Shakespeare's thinking about crimes that the fair youth has committed against Shakespeare, not being with Shakespeare, not being faithful to him, yeah, sleeping around, going around with other people, and not being faithful to Shakespeare's love. I am to wait. It is my role to wait. I must wait. Though waiting so be hell, despite the fact that waiting is absolute hell. Not to blame your pleasure, be it ill or well. And I can't be angry with your pleasure, angry with what you decide to do. If it's good for me or it's not good for me, it's not up to me to blame it. Yeah, it's for you to decide if what you're doing is right or what you're doing is not right. And here Shakespeare's saying you have the freedom to do, to the youth, you have the freedom to do what you want. And clearly you don't love me, and Shakespeare feels very bad, very angry with himself that he's in this situation. But this is the reality of this situation. So enough. If you enjoyed the video, give it a rating, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now. Sonnet 58 by William Shakespeare.